absorbed in chanting, then it's possible to live on a different energy, a different wavelength. It's like I was speaking to Emma. Is Emma in the room? Emma, are you here? Anyway, I was speaking to her earlier. Emma said that we much rather become radiators than drains. We want to give warmth rather than suck energy from people, isn't it? To become a radiator, we need a constant supply of water inside the radiator, hot water running all the time. So in the same way, I feel blessed that we are joined with such good association with someone who I genuinely feel has a constant supply of hot water running through the veins, and hot, loving water. There's nothing to be scared of, I promise.
Thank you very, very much for having. We had today a really coming here. See, when we arrived in the Frankfurt airport, we found out that our ticket to London, or our flight from London, was from Berlin to London, not from Frankfurt. Wow, that was a very interesting travel experience. People at the airport couldn't be addressed with this, what to do. They said, what? We said, we are sometimes with our thought in some other. It worked out nice in the end, because, but we had to buy another flight, but that other flight we will take in December, so no loss of the volcanic energy. Yes. And I really think that this is a good analogy of life. Sometimes you're at a place which cannot bring you to the place which you really want to go. Your airport is wrong. And I believe in chanting we can correct that. The desire of all of us is for complete freedom and a blissful, unconstrained life. And we can't get there from the airport of materialism. We have to go to the airport of chanting, and then it can bring us there. Yes, thought to share a little bit from the life of the Swami, who sometimes gets perplexed. Where's my right airport? Good. I think we should.
Yeah. So the first chant that we'll have this evening, you can repeat after me, it's behind you. Vande Krishna.
Vande Krishna.
Nanda Kumara.
Nanda Kumara.
Madan Gopala.
Madan Gopala.
Mohana Rupa.
Mohana Rupa.
What does that mean? Vande Krishna means I offer my homage, I offer myself, I offer love towards Krishna, the all-attractive. Krishna literally translates as all-attractive God. Vande Krishna, I offer my respect, my obeisance. So many times in life, isn't it, that we say, Vande, me, respect me. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I represent? Or, we want to be at the front of the bus, at the back of the church, and in the center of attention, isn't it? But Vande Krishna, immediately by chanting these two words, we're saying, I offer myself, my love, my everything, Vande Krishna, to the supreme, all-attractive person, Krishna. Nanda Kumara. Nanda Kumara means one who is the beloved son of Nanda. So in our Bhakti tradition, we understand that God is a person, and therefore if God is a person, what limits God from having a mother and father? Why not? If you were God, would you not also have relationship? So we understand Nanda Kumara. Krishna is the son of Nanda. Madan Gopala. Madan Gopala means the enchanter of the cows, the beloved of the cows. Krishna is understood as being very, very dear to cows. And in Vrindavan, the place of the, I could say the home of Krishna, the home of God, there are many, many cows. Even walking along the street, sometimes you're walking along, even if you're driving along, the cows don't wait for anyone. And so Krishna is very dear to the cows, and the cows are very dear to Krishna. So Madan Gopal, Mohana Rupa. Mohana Rupa means one who is beautiful in the form. You can see here we have a beautiful deity of Krishna, who has been gifted just for tonight. But I'm praying maybe he stays because he's so beautiful. If you get a chance after the Kirtan, please approach this wonderful deity and just ogle, just ogle in beauty. Mohana Rupa, this beautiful form of Krishna. And you can see Krishna has 3 bends in his stance when he's standing with the flute in his hands. So Mohana Rupa, beautiful forms. And when we're chanting this mantra, what can we meditate on? Well, any of the meanings that I gave, or to keep it really simple, when you chant, just say, I'm offering myself, Vande Krishna. I'm not offering myself to myself, I'm offering myself onwards and upwards to something great. I've tried for so long to satisfy myself by simply loving me. But by giving love, by offering love towards a higher source, that's how we become satisfied. So Vande Krishna. That can be our meditation. You with me? Nodding heads. Yes. Yeah? Cool. Let's give it a try. We chant in a call and response way, which means you get to hear my mostly frog-like voice, and then in response, please everyone chant nice and sincerely, nice and sweetly with the meaning of the mantra. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, sitting nice and tall. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. voice here, please. I've been searching for a place where my happiness will be quenched, searching for a place where my heart will be satisfied. For lifetimes I've been searching, but I've not realized that happiness is an inside job. It requires me to go within the heart, search for love, and offer that upwards, not towards the things that I desire in my life, materially speaking, but to offer it towards an eternal source of joy, Krishna. Vande Krishna. In this moment, here and now, I'm offering my words, my heart, my mind towards that divine source of joy, Krishna, who is the enchanter of the cows, who is beloved to the residents of Vrindavan, where every step is a dance, every word is a song. To that Krishna, who is Mohana Rupa, beautiful, enchanting in form, I offer myself. Vande Krishna, Nanda Kumar. Vande Krishna, Nanda Kumar. Krishna permission. So feel free if you need or you feel the desire to express your love through dancing, then please express it in this direction towards Mohana Rupa Krishna. Vande Krishna. Kumara Madhana Gopala Nanda Kumara Madhana Gopala Madhana Gopala Mohana Rupa Madhana Gopala Mohana Rupa Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara In our tradition of Kirtan, when we are offering ourselves upwards, we can use body, mind and words. And so I'd like to ask you, please kindly raise your hands in a way where you're calling upwards. You're letting go of your own strength and relying on divine strength. And let's chant Vande Krishna Nanda Kumar twice more. And please, out of the karaoke zone and into the Bhakti zone, try to enter into the meaning of the mantra Vande Krishna Nanda Kumar. I'm offering myself with love. Deep breath. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. Last time. Vande Deep breath in. Deep breath out. To rely on our own strength is natural, isn't it? When we have issues, obstacles, challenges in our life, it's common that we turn innately or due to conditioning, we turn towards our own abilities. Say, for example, someone at work gives you a challenge, and naturally you think, I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can, through mental endurance, through an inner resolve, I can do it. You know, impossible is in the Fool's Dictionary. Watch the world, here I come. Tony Robbins, eat my dust. Isn't it? That's the natural thing, to turn towards our own ability and our own strength. But one who looks back on life, even if it's a life short-lived, only 20 or 30 years, 40 years, whatever it may be, when one looks back on life, one can see very clearly that it's not actually our own ability that manage to do very much. Things happen very often by chance, isn't it? Or by a divine arrangement, isn't it, Vishal? Somehow or the other. It's not in our hands. And so that's quite a liberating thing. What do you think, Isha? Quite liberating. Know that life isn't in us, but rather it's in a divine hand. And I may not have seen divinity in my life, I may not have seen Krishna, a deity form, but I can see God's hands printed all over my life. Does anyone else feel like this? As a show of hands. That you feel that your life is nudged, pushed, and sometimes even harshly so, in a direction which has ended up in much better ways than we ever anticipated. And so what I'd like you to do now is turn to someone you've never met before. Yes, it will be awkward Londoners, but that's part of the process. Part of tonight's agenda is to meet new people. And so I want you to turn now to someone in the room that you've never met before. It will be awkward for, I promise, no more than 10 seconds. Once you get over what's your name, it'll become very easy. So do this, and then I want you to discuss, when was the last time, maybe you need to think about it while I'm saying it, when was the last time that you felt your life was guided by a divine presence? The in the room tell me that it's been more than one. But come up and do one thing. Please don't try to just say something to impress your partner, because you know you're just trying to show off. But be genuine, be real about it, and think. Or maybe you need to think about it. Just sit for 10 seconds in silence. Close your eyes for me, please, and just think of a time in your life where you felt you were guided by a higher power. Caught one? Okay, turn to that stranger who will soon become a friend. And I'll give you no more than 5 minutes, so please give the other person a chance to speak. Go for it. Kindly return from your conversations, try to be here again. Say thank you to your friends. Kindly turn that this way so I can get your attention once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If I can get your attention once again, back in the gym. When you're all speaking, it sounds like an ocean at Dover, you know, crashing ocean. It's wonderful to hear and to feel the atmosphere of friendship. It's nice, you know, that the smiling faces looking in this direction is always a good sign that you've had a good combo with someone. Sorry, I promise there's plenty more people in the room. Maharaj brought with him this book, the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and when this question came up, this is a picture, I don't know, you can't really see it from that far, but it's a picture of a divine arrangement where God is in the center and wonderful pastimes are taking place around. So I want to hear from each of you a divine pastime, something where, not each and every one of you, others will be here all night, but if you feel called to share, you know why to share? Because sometimes when you speak and you give your experiences of divine arrangement, then it gives faith to the heart of others. It gives solace to the heart of others who maybe who went through a similar thing, or it's also nice to hear from you because then you get less of me speaking in the microphone. So I'm going to turn to you, please. The floor is yours, not all at once. Yes, please, Andrea. Good to see you.
So,
Hello.
we were recently talking about job applications. So
Job
I-
applications.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we've all been, many people have been through job applications and or university applications or letters or we apply to many things in life. And for me personally, it's always been like, I'm applying for this, I will get it, I need to get it. And if I don't get it, it's like something's wrong, I need it, like, and then I get very angry because I didn't get that thing, and then I have to apply again, and then. But recently I got rejection, and then I just saw it differently because now I'm getting other opportunities and other offers, other things that are definitely much better than that other thing. And it just made me think that maybe I was literally in the wrong. It's like it's quite applicable to the wrong airport because I was maybe just literally
Quite
trying to-
applicable to the wrong airport.
Yeah, it's like I was. Yeah, I was trying to not do the right thing where I didn't know that that thing wasn't, meant for me.
Parallel towards Spanish.
I mean, definitely sometimes we have to make plans and so on. But the moment when we feel that there is a better and then we stand in awe. We stand silent, and in that silence the real things can happen. So when the human being runs against the wall and finds, wow, there's so much better things behind the wall, and I'm allowed to see them, then he's very happy.
Thank you so much for sharing. One more. You can feel it in the room. Yeah, I see your hand. Who is it? Is it Radha?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Hello.
I guess one poignant thing that I reckon a lot of people probably relate to is lockdown. Because I had very grandiose plans of travelling and finding myself that year. And I had, really exciting adventures planned to like India and Australia and all these places where I thought I was going to sort of escape the old me and discover this new incredible person that I was hiding within, hopefully. And it actually forced me to stay still for the longest I've ever stayed still, and it was the most insightful time I've had because I discovered how beautiful my home was and the land where I live, and discovered the mountains and nature, and actually got to know myself more than running outwards. And I felt that was quite a big moment, I think, for the world, but a really important one for me.
Wow. I didn't get vouchers for those tickets. I'm joking. I like how you said running outwards rather run inwards. Did you experience during COVID? Okay. Marge opened the book, so I feel like something is coming.
No, I just opened.
Yeah, running inwards. Yeah, divine arrangement. Sometimes in life it's we need other doors to be forced closed in order for the right door that is meant for us to swing open. And in the as you said, the grandiose plan of this lifetime, the only door that needs walking through is that identity. And so even if Andra and Radha, that those doors feel like they were forced closed, many times the great saint Steve Jobs once said, you can never connect the dots going forwards, isn't it? You can only connect them going backwards. And so many times in life it's like that, to just be able to see, okay, this door closed, right now I don't know why, this relationship closed, this job offer closed, this travel plan's closed. But when you look back on it on 5 years, 10 years, even just a couple later, sometimes it becomes so clear that the inner yearning was trying to awaken, and we had to just listen, as Mari said it so eloquently, to just be silent and just to hear. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you do look backwards, like you suggested, you will most probably find out that the big things in life were not arranged by you. For instance, taking birth. You didn't make a plan, didn't choose your parents from a parent catalog, you didn't were unborn. And or meeting important people who helped you to make that important turn in your life that made all the difference for you. That also was not arranged by you, or there was no catalog. You chose, I will meet this amazing person. Many of the things in our life are given and not arranged by us. They are given to us. And when we look back, we can identify many things. That the river of our life took a bend, and on that bend there stood a person who has supplied us with inspiration and said, why not go this way? And then we changed the course of our life. We see this in backward, when we look backward, but unfortunately we forget it. And then we act on our own steam. We run out of steam. We become, we hit our wall. What if we would take this remembrance with us and find a way to connect to that source who guided us all the while to the present moment? And I think this is the idea of Bhakti, to make that paradigmic turn, that categorical turn, that I'm trying to find a word which says this totally different turn, the turns which we take. And yes, in Bhakti that is revealed to us often. All of a sudden you know for sure, and you hear that voice that has never erred. Is it what erred? Never made a mistake. You hear it again, there it is. And if you are not afraid to lose sight of the old shore, then you might discover an entirely new country. This is from Christopher Columbus. He said, if you're afraid to lose sight of the shore, you'll never discover a new country. So if you're trusting that voice that never errs, and which put all the big things in your life in the past, on your path, and you're trusting and you're not afraid, wow, then you start to live the real life. Good.
Thank you, Radha. That was wonderful. I think I want to hand over to Maharaj to guide us in the next part of our evening with the next chant, but also some wisdom as well, if he feels called to speak. For those of you that don't know, when Maharaj was speaking about doors that you never thought possible to open, I genuinely feel I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for him. In 2010, I was a still chubby, naive boy sitting at the back of a kirtan and stubbornly not wanting to chant. And in his kirtan, somehow the other I felt called to try, and before you know it, here I am 15 years later. And so please lend your ears, if you haven't already, please tune in to the sound vibrations that will be coming through. And yeah, maybe we can start by just offering our pranams, by holding our palms, and praying that whatever may come through from what Maharaj speaks will be beneficial to our ears, our heart, and our greater journey. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. that airport adventure, which made it a little unlikely, but yes. There's a temple in Vrindavan. It's on the top of a hill, and it is somehow very remote from everything. You feel quite aloof when you are in there. And then, when you have done the things which you do in the temple, you've sung, you've said your prayers, you've waited for insights, you've eaten the prasad, that sanctified food. When you're finished and you go out of the temple, you are told there's one thing that you still need to do. When I had found my shoes, I was wanting to go down to the hill, and the one who was our guide there said, one thing remains to be done. So I climbed up again and I sat before the door of the temple and listened to what he said. He says, you're going now into the world, but you should chant the name of Ram 3 times, because then all that was given to you stays inside. I wanted to do this originally. We will do it again at the very end of the program, but here I want to do it to help you to hold these moments of inspiration which you have gotten so far. It goes very easier. You need it on an exhale, you just chant. One moment, I'm not there. We have to go. One moment, I have to write things. Take a deep breath inside. We'll chant our next bhajan. I wanted to share with you something which I feel very strongly about, something which I feel is almost like a gift that I could give you, the gift of Sangha. Sangha, I think most of you know, means community. Sang means together, Ga means to go. And there's a saying in Sanskrit, Samyak Rupena Gamana. That is Sangha. To move forward together in the proper way. There is a lot to be said about what happens in community when you worship together or sing like we do here, sing together. It is almost as if something in us becomes amplified. The light which we put forward, or let us say the enthusiasm which we put forward in singing together, becomes amplified when we sing together as a community of singers. This idea of Sangha, of community, is extremely important if we wish to bring the best out of us, which is so often buried under layers of not the best of all of us. There is a text I would like to share with you in conclusion. Parasparanu katanam pavanam bhagavat yasham mitodati mitastushtir nidriti mita atmanam, which means one should learn how to associate with the spiritual people by gathering with them to chant together. This process is purifying. As these spiritual people thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up the material obstacles which are the cause of all suffering. So let's unpack that. This ancient text in Sanskrit recommends us that we should learn to associate together while chanting. Why does it say to learn? What is there to learn that we don't know? See, when you have association together, you put the ego ideally away. If that is not possible, you let it go a little bit in the observer role. It just stands there. And then, in that Sangha, you are actually, when you do it ideally, you are willing to receive what you can receive from the community. The ego is often in between. We need to learn to put it away, to not be self-conscious, and just allow the atmosphere to spread and reach our heart. And then what happens, it's very purifying. When you open yourself to what comes in the association, to the subtle lessons, the subtle hints which you get also, then that is purifying. It takes away your own stuff, your own constructions, your own mental prison in which you are so often. It's said that consciousness is like a mirror, and so often dust accumulates, dust of my own egoistic agendas, so that the mirror stops reflecting purely. When you are together, when you have Sangha, the dust is removed and you begin to reflect purely. And it is said, in such an association, that the ego has stepped down from the throne, or you have made him step down. You will feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And then such an association can be so encouraging. There is a commentary which says that one devotee, one bhakta will say to another, "Oh, you have given up sense gratification. Starting today, I shall also give it up." It's an encouragement which happens in the association of like-minded people. Encouragement to go beyond the borders, your own limitations. So yeah, this is a very nice text. I would like to now sing together in Sangha the Mahamantra. I think you all know it. It's the Hare Krishna mantra. And I request you to do two things only. Let the sound just enter you and let it purify you. Let us say, sound which we produce all together just act like a good, we call this waterfall, and it comes into us, and let us just be with the sound. In other words, when it's Hare, it's only Hare. When it's Krishna, it's only Krishna. When it's Hare again, wow, then it's only Hare. You are absolutely present, in other words, to the sound that is created in community. And see what happens. Don't think about yourself. The self is at the moment put, the ego, I mean, that's here, is put on the waiting list, parking place. Let just the sound be in you. That is very nice. I will try to sing a raga which is supposed to be sung at this time of the day. I have a little help here from Krishna next to me. If I should miss the raga, we will try. One more time, let us all very meditatively chant as we really mean it. Italy and visited the mountain Laverna. In Laverna there is a cave where the Saint Francis of Assisi had a divine encounter. He had fasted for 40 days, and at the end he only had 2 more sentences to say. Who am I and who are you? He did this for 40 days in this cave. When we were there, I thought to myself, we all have this cave in our heart, this sacred space, this inner realm, where we can ask this question, who am I really, when all these roles, all the things that are not me have been removed. And the second question, who are you? ask these questions, answers will come. During Kirtan, I feel so much that it's all about these two questions. Who am I and who are you? Thank you very much for coming. Actually, I want to thank Radhika Ranjan does very much for having these gatherings. I think since a few years already, isn't it? Maybe since 100 years.
I wish.
And it is, I think the step which we can all take together in these meetings is to form Sangha, an association of like-minded people, where these questions become more and more answered. Who am I really? And who are you really? In Sangha, an association with like-minded people, there is an atmosphere that is so much amplified for spiritual realization. We will all get there the answers which we need to these two questions. Good.
So we want to thank Maharaj for his time. But I think in closing, he asked earlier that we begin by chanting Ram 3 times, and he said maybe later we can also close the evening like this. And so it just literally popped into my mind. I'm thinking it's coming from the ether. So I'm going to ask you to sit once again to close the evening. Hear the sound vibration Ram as you chant it. Deep breath. Doing this weekly. Sometimes, in the car ride home, we will dissect the evening, what went well, what we could do better, what magic was thrown in our direction this evening. And I want to invite you to do the same. Why? Because I think tonight, specifically, those of you who have come weekly or come regularly to this event, this gathering, this Sangha, you know when sometimes you're in the presence of hearing truth. Sangha is meant for truth. And so this evening, whatever truth came your way, I want you to try and just hear it for more than just this moment. And that means that sometimes you need to write it down. So I want to invite you, if you are listening and you are conscious in this moment, to please, tonight, tomorrow morning, first thing, try to write down whatever impressions came your way so that they don't get lost in simply sense gratification that, oh yeah, it was nice, it was cool, it was wicked. But what really touched the heart, I'm asking. So kindly take this humble suggestion and do with it what you will. I want to thank Maharaj for his time, his presence, his teachings, his chanting. But also I want to turn also to my brother Krishna, who has traveled also. and got on the right plane somehow and made it here. And I think you all heard such nice kirtan, no, when he chants. Really pure. It's not tangible. You can't put your finger on what it is. I think it's humility. That's what comes through when he chants. So thank you so much for Krishna for chanting. I want to invite you to come again and chant with us once again. And also Maharaj, please come again. Please don't leave us without your association. And of course I'm going to just go right to left, left to right on your side and just give my gratitude. And I know that the thing to do is to clap, but it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do right now. I think let's fold our palms, and if you see the person, maybe just send some gratitude in their direction. So I'm looking right, I'm looking at Rushabh, who helps to do the sound here. He's behind the altar, so you can't see him so well. He's behind Krishna. Krishna's behind you. To Nityananda, who did the sound also this evening. Thank you, Nityananda. To Abhay, who played Mridanga, the drums so beautifully this evening. To Kaylee, who by the way, dear brothers and sisters, Kaylee released a track today, a single called Skies. If you haven't heard it, when you're writing down, idea. When you're writing down your reflections, go onto Apple Music, type in Kaylee Woods Skies, and put it in the background. It's such a nice track. He writes conscious music. It's not just lyrics that are about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but nice lyrics. You know, it's called for. It's an age of awakening. So he's writing songs for that. So thank you, Kaylee, for your beautiful voice and bass playing. To Nilamani, who's sitting behind here, she's the wife. My English isn't so good. She's the wife of Naveen Krishna, who together they have created so many wonderful spaces such as this, and a team that is fully behind their endeavors. And honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here in this space without... Where's Naveen Krishna? Are you here? Or he's gone? Okay, he's going to have some dinner. But Nilamani and Naveen Krishna, I think they deserve really heartfelt gratitude for this beautiful space, this opportunity, for all of the service they do to create and curate wonderful community spaces. So thank you, Nilamani. To my wife, Devi Kumari, who's sitting over there, who keeps me sane in the most insane moments, who gives me grounding and good fellowship and partnership. Thank you, Devi Kumari, for your kind
And
participation.
who knows how to cook amazing cakes.
She never cooks cakes for me. We'll get to that. No, she's a very good chef. And if you want vegan recipes, perhaps, and how to cook consciously, then she's the right person to speak. Definitely. I'm not just saying it because she's my wife, but sincerely, I see how she cooks. So she's listening to nice kirtan, or she's singing, or she's listening to good classes on Bhakti, and that infuses in the food. So thank you, Devi Kumari. To Shyam Govinda and Megan on the guitars this evening. Shyam Govinda. Very nice guitar playing. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We have Renali, who maybe you need to stand, Renali, because they won't see you otherwise. But she did a lot of the decor in this room alongside Ananta, who's again, why did you guys stand behind pillars? But Ananta and Renali, they brought all of these vines and these beautiful jasmine flowers and this backdrop where Krishna is standing. Oh, they did everything. So thank you to Renali and to Ananta. To Akash, is Akash there somewhere? Akash, thank you so much for coming early and serving and setting up and doing the needful. The list goes on. Dharmin, you know where you are. Kapil, who's doing some YouTubing. And all of you who came early, I could be here all night to thank you. But this is what it means, community. Community doesn't mean I come, I take, and I go. Community means I come, I serve, I share, I hold the hand of my neighbor and say, you too, come with me. Let's do this together. Let's try and spread loving, devotional sound vibration across London. When we started, we only had 5 people in the front and me trying to wail away. And now the community grows and grows and grows beyond these walls. And so it's because of each and every one of you. So please continue to spread these beautiful messages far and wide. And if there's any way we could serve you better, please do let us know. In terms of, I'm going to rattle through the things to get in touch with and the next steps, blah, 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 as quickly as possible. So you can see there's these 2 videos that are playing. One is for a retreat. We have booked out our Vrindavan retreat. It's finished. I'm sorry. If you want to come to India, please apply for 2023. We're taking 40 of you to Vrindavan. But we have now a new offering in January at the Vedanta. It's the video on the left. It's a relaxing break at a space that is curated again by Naveen Krishna and the team at the Vedanta in Lincolnshire. We're going to have 3 days at the beginning of the year from 5th to the 8th of January. And we're going to just spend time in Bhakti Yoga. We're going to discuss the philosophy, sing Kirtan, of course, have some time to enter the new year with some good consciousness. Sounds like a plan, right? Good idea to enter the year with good consciousness. So if you're interested, then there's only 15 spots left. We launched it today and already 10 are gone. So if you want to come quickly, otherwise see you in 2024. There's the concert. Emma, are you here? I saw you somewhere. Emma from Tri-Yoga, Emma Henry's here. She's curating wonderful events at Tri-Yoga. Now there's a shift and a new growth of Bhakti coming at Tri-Yoga. And it's thanks to Emma. She, as soon as the last concert of 400 of us finished, she immediately called the next day and said, let's do something at Tri-Yoga. And I said, sure, it's a done deal. So we're going there on the 15th of October. Again, limited spots, smaller than the first concert. We're only offering 300 spots. So please come if you feel called to, if you feel like you want to chant with more people than you already have here. Then that's happening on Saturday, the 15th of October. And then the other offerings you guys know about, the book club. We have on Mondays, we've got Sacred Sangha on the 6th of September, Kirtan here next week, of course. And if you didn't listen to a thing I said, but you think, oh man, maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to hear some promo stuff, then just scan this code here on the left. It joins you to a WhatsApp group, which is admin only. It's only me that messages on there, and I'll just put the links up. So instead of you going, oh, where's this link and that link, it's all in one place. And I only message there once or twice a week where I just say, this is happening, that's happening, so you can keep in touch. Okay, promotion over. There are spaces downstairs for food, I believe. If you haven't picked up a book, then we have a selection of books at the back of the room. We have the Bhagavad Gita, which is, in my opinion, this book of life. It teaches you everything. In the first 6 chapters, it teaches you how to live. In the second 6 chapters, it teaches you how to love. And in the final 6 chapters, you'll learn how to let go. And if you want to read more or know more, then pick up a Bhagavad Gita. Kapil will be there at the back of the room. And another book which I want you to please kindly have a look at, touch at the very least, is this book called The Living Name. It's written by His Holiness Sacinandana Swami, and I swear by it. So much so, it's sprawled with my notes inside about how to chant properly. I'm still not there yet. I still don't know how to chant properly. I'm getting there by the help of this book. So if you want to get it, maybe Maharaj, if he's kind enough to, will sign a copy for you. But don't just sign it and leave it on the shelf. How many people have got a book signed and then left it on the shelf? Okay, not alone. So please, get the book. Don't get it signed, up to you. But please read it and apply it. Please see how you can transform your chanting from karaoke to deep devotional connection with God. Okay, that's all. Sending you lots of love. See you next week. Hare Krishna. Happy God. Someone can press the lights on. It's number 1 on the switch. There's a switchboard of 8.